Hey, it's Luke, the warehouse manager, and I've been thinking about making this video for a while, really ever since I sat down with Martina for an interview in February that was published in March, and especially since doing the What's in My Bag video. I've had a lot of people who've come to me and said, I really would love to have a Motherloaf. I love the sugar loaf, I think it's great, but man, it'd be super nice if that were made in a bigger version, if you could bring back the Motherloaf. And I agree. Martina asked me in the interview, if you watched it, I'll have that linked on a little card up here, what do you want to see brought back? I was like, well, it's obviously this. She said, well, what do you think about a pre-sale? I said, yeah, something we can do to engage with people who've said they're interested, but also make sure that if we're going to take this financial risk, it's worth it. People want to buy it, and that's a thing to consider. And I haven't talked to her since the current administration here in the U.S. Put in place some really stringent tariffs, and I know that these bags will be made in Indonesia, and there are really heavy tariffs that have been levied. So I don't know how that's going to affect things. And the primary consideration that I was talking to her about before all that was minimum order quantities. So all of these factories that people deal with are minimum order quantities. So when we have our frames made for us by Tongay in Taiwan, we have minimum order quantities. When Martina has her bags made in Indonesia, minimum order quantities. It was the same case when she was having them made here. It's the same case when we have, say, Black Snow make frames for us. All of it comes down to there's certain minimum order quantities that need to be made, and then the cost per item either goes up or comes down depending on if you order more or less, and sometimes it doesn't really matter. It's the same fixed cost across however many you order. And so with the minimum order quantities in mind and all of that, it's a big financial risk. And she's interested in knowing if there is enough, there can be plenty of people in the comments saying we want this, but then when it comes to having it made, it's another thing entirely. I was actually, of course, arguing in the comments with people on the Radivist, not arguing, I was just stating what my experience has been working in the industry. They were saying that they really don't like that there aren't more manufacturers who make large frames, and I totally get that. I mean, I'm 6'6", and I'm about a 97 centimeter pubic bone height. That's a rib measurement that I really think is great. So I've kind of got my saddle height on here, and he was complaining, why don't more companies have bigger frames? It's really stinks, and I think that it's lazy and and so let me speak from personal experience here. The only frame sizes left for the Grand Randonneur, which I believe the last run of Grand Randonneurs we had done was in either 2021 or 2022. So we still have some left. They are mostly the biggest sizes. In fact, it's only the biggest sizes that are left. So we paid for something 4 years ago. We made an investment that hasn't returned. We have not gotten a return on it. So why then would we make large frames, even though there are all these people clamoring for them when people don't go out and buy them? And I say that again as someone who I want to have large frames, and speaking to, the bike that I ride the most right now, I have this Atlantis, and I know that up until, they were made in the spring of 2022 was the last run. They just dropped another run that sold out within minutes. Or I think it was within an hour. I was just talking to James over at Rivendell about it. There were, I picked this up in August of 22. It hung out for 6 months. And it's the largest frame in that run, and there are quite a few that just kind of hung out. So with minimum order quantities, with making specialty items, it's good to gauge interest, because then otherwise there's an investment made and there's no return, and you're just stuck with this inventory. And Dan, whom I work with, I love how he says it. He says, keeping inventory costs money. I was like, I don't understand. It's just sitting there. He said, yeah, exactly. It's just sitting there. You've made an investment in it. It's not going anywhere. No one's buying it. And it being there is impeding our ability to bring in new inventory and new stock, things that people might want to buy more regularly. And it's also why when I talk to Jim and I'm trying to get some sort of order put in, I want to carry a cool new product, whatever, he said, is it going to sell? Oh yeah, of course it's going to sell. Well, are you sure about it? And then he rides me if it doesn't sell. Thankfully, the stuff I've been bringing in sells really well. Like calling in sick is a very popular item. It's more about getting people to know that we do carry it in the first place, which I'm kind of tasked with. So I bring it in and then I try and promote it. But if I'm going to be the one tasked with trying to bring in a bunch of Motherloafs into stock, only to have them sit there, that stinks. And I think they're going to sell really well. I think that the bag itself is absolutely wonderful. It's not about them not selling well, it's about how many do we want to order. And it's hedging bets, obviously, but also getting it a bit clearer through finding out from you all. What do you want? So anyway, I'm looking forward to hearing in the comments from you what you have to say about it. Again, I think it's a great bag. I think Martina's wonderful. I've really enjoyed working with her. It's a pleasure talking with her and getting to know her better in February. And I hope to see her soon when she's down here in the Bay, or maybe if I'm up at a trade show at MADE, I'm hoping to go. But most likely that's going to be Jim who's going to be up there. He usually handles the trade shows. So anyway, I'll probably just see you in the next video. So take care.